Good morning. Today is January 7th, 2025. Welcome to another episode of Legal Grounds Morning Cup. I'm your host, Texas consumer and real estate attorney, Benjamin Sanchez. Today, I will briefly discuss the question that all attorneys get from clients at one point or another. Can you guarantee me victory? So let's take a few moments to discuss what a lawyer can and cannot guarantee when it comes to their performance of legal services. So we get this question quite often. We do consultations and legal analysis of claims and defenses for clients and potential clients. And invariably, we get the question, can you guarantee me victory? Can you guarantee me success? And so the question really is going to be, what is success in your case? And can a lawyer guarantee that outcome that you define as success in your case? And I'm sorry, I'm just doing a few things here because I'm on my own here. Hold on. Let's see here. All right. So the issue, quite frankly, is let's first define success here. Success may be, if you're a plaintiff, it may be that you want a certain amount of money coming to you when all is said and done. It may be that you want a certain type of action to be taken when all is said and done. And quite frankly, lawyers cannot guarantee the particular result that someone is seeking. If you go to a doctor, right, a medical doctor, a doctor could tell you, we think this is what's wrong with you. This is our diagnosis. This is the strategy that we will take to provide medical services to you. We think we need to do this type of treatment. We think we need to give you this type of medicine. But in the end, a doctor really cannot tell you with 100% certainty what the outcome of your condition will be, because there's so many factors. Everyone is different, and it's just hardly known. Now, for certain diseases and things, doctors can tell you, hey, you've got a lot of doctors will give prognosis, right, of what they can and cannot do in terms of the outcomes. If it's a simple cold, they may say, well, if you take this antibiotic, it should heal. But quite frankly, even those little things can potentially have different consequences than intended when they don't know everything about you and your body. In a legal setting, if we're going to court and we're going to trial, we are not the ones who are in control of the decision. We are in control of what effort we have. We are in control of what we can try to get admitted into evidence. However, at the end of the day, the judge is the one who decides what comes into evidence, and it's the judge or jury, depending on who you're trying the case in front of, who's going to decide the outcome of the case. And so in that sense, what I routinely tell people who ask me this question is I cannot guarantee you a certain outcome, because there's going to be a judge or a jury deciding this case in litigation, and they're the ones who are going to decide it. What I can tell people is whether or not I believe they have a good claim or a good defense based upon the facts that I know and the law that is out there currently. Okay, so if someone comes to me and they say that they have a loan that they gave to someone else, that person hasn't paid them back, I can tell them, hey, that's a breach of contract, right? But let me look at the contract, and when I look at all the evidence, I can tell them it seems like you have a breach of contract claim. It seems like it's fairly strong based upon what you've told me and the documents I've seen. And if you're willing, I'm willing to represent you. Generally speaking, Sanchez Law Firm, and me in particular, we don't take claims and we don't take cases that we don't believe in, because we don't believe has a a good ground in facts and the law. Part of that is because we're an entrepreneur business. We have overhead and we don't have time to really mess around with claims that are not truly viable in that sense. In the Texas Lawyers Creed, all attorneys have to do things in good faith. We have to bring claims in good faith, and if we don't, we can potentially get punished for bringing claims or defenses not in good faith. Our clients can potentially get sanctioned in court if there are things that are not done in good faith. And what is good faith? A reasonable basis in fact and law. So we certainly try to make sure that if we're going to take someone's case, that they have a reasonable basis in fact and law to pursue whatever claim it is that they want. Now, if they're a defense, we obviously try to assert the defenses that our clients may have. Again, we try to do everything that has a reasonable basis in faith, in good faith, and in facts and law. The problem comes up is when we try to define success. So what people sometimes don't understand, if they're the ones who are making the claim, is that at the end of the day, the judge and the jury cannot force someone to pay the judgment. So a successful outcome in a lawsuit, in terms of the litigation itself, is a judgment against the other side, right? So we get a judgment against the other side. Whether that judgment can be collected upon is another story. And sometimes we don't have control over that. I routinely give this example that if we get $1,000 for someone in a judgment, but the defendant only has $100 to their name, then our client's not going to get $1,000. They're going to get if we're successful, they're going to get $100. They'll have a judgment, and that judgment is good for a while. In another video, we'll talk about judgments in particular. But they have a piece of paper that says the other side legally owes them the $1,000. But whether or not they collect on that piece of paper is another story, and it's all sorts of post-judgment collections. So in that sense, a client might feel that getting the judgment was not the successful outcome because they actually wanted the money. We have clients even now who say, okay, well, when is someone going to start paying on the judgment that you got for us? I'm like, I have no clue. I mean, whether they pay or not is out of my control. We can do things to try to collect, but ultimately I cannot force someone to pay something they do not have. So we have to set expectations when we're talking with clients about what victory means and what a legal victory actually looks like. Okay. I'll give you another example on the defense side. If we are defending a client in a debt defense lawsuit, so if someone's being sued for a debt defense, clearly that client, the ultimate outcome would be to have that lawsuit dismissed with no debt owed, right? But lots of our clients, quite frankly, owe the money, right? So the question is, hey, what does a successful outcome look like when you owe money, right? Well, one may be a delay of the ultimate outcome because maybe you're in a rough spot right now financially and you need time to come up with some money to make a settlement plan. Maybe a successful outcome is to try to negotiate the debt down, right? So there are things that may happen that could be successful, even though the ultimate outcome may be that our client pays. Another situation, we do a lot of evictions. We do some evictions for non-multifamily unit landlords, so those who have single houses or rent houses or whatever. And we do a lot of eviction defense. And so when we have a tenant that has an eviction filed against them, and we represent the tenant, sometimes the win is allowing the tenant to stay in the property as long as possible so they can get their life together, so they can move out and be able to move out without being kicked out by a constable later. So maybe we have to just, use the techniques and procedures available to us under the Texas Property Code and Texas Rules of Civil Procedure to delay the ultimate outcome. And quite frankly, that may be a success to our client because our client knows they didn't pay the rent and that they've breached the lease, but success may be the delay. And so we try to have a frank conversation with clients from the very beginning when they ask something like that. I cannot guarantee you an outcome, but let's discuss what a successful outcome looks like to you, and let's discuss how we can get there. So when you're talking to an attorney, try to keep that in mind that an attorney cannot necessarily guarantee you a specific outcome, but they can guarantee you a strategy, they can guarantee you best efforts, they can let you know whether or not you have a good claim or a good defense, right? And so those are the kind of things that should be discussed instead of, hey, I need to know that this claim is going to work. I hope everything goes well and you have a great day. Bye-bye.